Good evening and welcome to the Newshour Agenda. I'm Madhavdas G. Now, leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, who is in the United States, remains unrelenting in his attacks against the BJP government. The Congress leader has now even questioned the Election Commission and the fairness of the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Speaking at an event at Georgetown University, Rahul Gandhi termed the Lok Sabha polls as a controlled election, claiming the BJP would not have been near 240 seats if the elections were fair, quote unquote.
I don't think the BJP, in a fair election, they were nowhere near 240 seats. No way. I mean, I'd be surprised if they had a financial, huge financial advantage. They had locked our bank accounts for one, but huge war chest. The Election Commission was doing what they wanted. I mean, the entire campaign was structured so Mr. Modi could, do his thing across the country. States where they were weak were designed differently than states where they were strong. So I don't view it as a free election at all. I view it as a rather controlled election.
This is concoction. He's denigrating India. He's talking about the election not having been free and fair. He's making things up. तो तेरे को 99 सीट्स मिल गए हैं तो कौन सी फ्री फेयर नहीं थी जो बाकी तेरे को नहीं मिली?
Rahul has also chosen to pick the Sikh community to explain to Americans how communities are having to fight to practice their faith in Bharat. Mentioning a Sikh man in the crowd, Rahul has claimed the battle in India was over whether Sikhs will be allowed to wear their turbans or their kada or even visit a Gurudwara in India. Listen in.
Fight is not about politics. That is superficial. The fight is about whether he, as a Sikh, is going to be allowed to wear his turban in India. Or he as a Sikh is going to be allowed to wear a kada in India. Or he as a Sikh is going to be able to go to a Gurdwara. That's what the fight is about. And not just for him. For all religions.
Apart from the implication that Sikhs aren't allowed to freely wear their turbans in India, Rahul's argument is also noteworthy for being made in the US, where there is a long and well-documented history of Sikhs facing persecution or being misidentified due to ignorance or racism. Now, BJP has hit back strongly at Rahul Gandhi, reminding him and the Congress party of the '84 massacre of Sikhs after the assassination of Indira Gandhi and the former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi's remark that the earth shakes when a big tree falls.
During the pogrom against the Sikh community in 1984, many of my friends, because they were being attacked, they got clean shaven and shed their turban. Out of fear, not as a matter of choice.
लेकिन लगातार राहुल गांधी जी देश की छवि खराब करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं और देश की छवि खराब करने की कोशिश देशद्रोह जैसी सीमा में ही आता है और संविधान पर हमले किसने किए? इमरजेंसी कौन ने लगाई?
देखो राहुल जी, पहली बात तो ये है, एक एलओपी लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन के अहदे पे पहली बार गए थे, तो ये लग रहा था भी शायद वो अपनी पप्पू वाली छवि जो है उसे शायद बदलेंगे।
इससे बड़ी हिपोक्रेसी हो नहीं सकती। जिनके परिवार ने सिख नरसंहार को, जहां पर 4000 से ज्यादा सिखों को मारा काटा गया, उसे जस्टिफाई किया, कहा बड़ा पेड़ गिरता है तो धरती हिलती है, ये राजीव गांधी के बयान थे। जो व्यक्ति आज राहुल गांधी की ट्रिप ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहे सैम पित्रोदा, उन्होंने कहा सिख दंगा हुआ तो हुआ, नरसंहार हुआ तो हुआ।
Let's now listen in to what late PM Rajiv Gandhi had said when he tried to play down the genocide of at least 3,000 Sikhs as per official estimates.
जब इंदिरा जी की हत्या हुई थी तो हमारे देश में कुछ दंगे फसाद हुए। हमें मालूम है कि भारत की जनता के दिल में कितना क्रोध आया, कितना गुस्सा आया और कुछ दिन के लिए लोगों को लगा कि भारत हिल रहा है। लेकिन जब भी कोई बड़ा पेड़ गिरता है तो धरती थोड़ी हिलती है।
You're watching the News Hour at 10. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Greetings across to our guest. Now joining us with us is Charu Pragya, national spokesperson of BJP. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, is with us. Ramneek Maan is a political analyst. We also have Maheshinder Singh Grewal, vice president and spokesperson of Shiromani Akali Dal. Advocate Kapil Madan, political analyst, is with us. We also have Jimsa V. Abraham, political analyst, with us. Parvinder Singh Sethi, political analyst, also joins us. Let me ask you first and foremost, Kapil Madan, what is the immediate provocation for Rahul Gandhi to be making such a comment that, whether one will be allowed to wear a turban, whether one will be allowed to wear a kada? What is the context in which Mr. Rahul Gandhi is even saying this? Because the BJP, of course, has hit out, citing 1984. What really could be the provocation or reason for Mr. Rahul Gandhi to say this in the first place?
So, Madhav, let me set the context extremely straight and right in the beginning. If you listen to the entire speech made by Mr. Rahul Gandhi, what was he talking about? He was talking that every individual, be it from any caste, religion, he deserves same amount of respect and love, be it whomsoever he is and being, whatever his background. This was the context of, which Mr. Gandhi made this tweet. And let me just, give you some factual, incidents what have happened. We now, we are in a country wherein we see how religious minorities are targeted. We saw an inhuman act wherein more than, I believe, 70-year-old person who was traveling, who belonged to a particular community, he was beaten up on the suspicion that he was carrying beef. And not only, he was beaten up by one person, there were several persons. So this is the state of affairs that, requires an immediate attention and correction. And it is very, sad for our, incumbent government that they don't take a notice of it. They don't take any moment to even, condemn it verbally. Forget taking any measures to correct this. Now, my second point here, let me give you a factual, another factual incident from Bengal. During one of the protests, one police officer who belongs from a Sikh community, one BJP functionary, a politician, allegedly called him a Khalistani because he was doing his duty and he was trying to curb the protest. Now, if this is the state of affairs where politicians openly call, a religious minority like this needs to be called off. This
certainly objectionable, and that was debated as well. Certainly nobody can be seen making those generalizations, but the manner in which Mr. Rahul Gandhi has spoken, there may be valid concerns about minorities, etc. Kapil, I'm not going to argue that. But the manner in which it's said that whether somebody can wear these religious symbols, certainly it seems that Mr. Rahul Gandhi has experienced something or is talking from a very different context. But Charu Pragya, respond to Kapil. Kapil is saying that minorities and their status in India, there are some serious questions about the manner in which attacks have taken place, lynchings have taken place in the name of beef, etc. And also he's citing a particular example in West Bengal to cite how the BJP has referred to a certain officer from the Sikh community. Your response on both those counts?
And everybody condemned that statement. Madhav, good evening. These statements given by Rahul Gandhi in US, I am taking extremely seriously. In fact, please allow me a couple of minutes before anybody else interrupts me. The first thing I want to say here is, as a leader of opposition, this person travels abroad and what does he do? He brings down the image of India. He tried fear-mongering for a very long time using Muslims. I don't think it worked for him. He's now moved on to the next group of people he thinks he'll be able to control by using divide and rule in India. So now it is the turn of Sikhs. There are thousands of gurudwaras in India. There are lakhs and crores of citizens who go to these gurudwaras every single day, irrespective of their faith. They don't have to be Sikhs to go there. And yet, Rahul Gandhi goes on foreign soil and speaks as if India is disintegrating. In fact, these are things which need to be punished, taken very seriously. And I don't think any Indian is taking these comments in a lighter vein. Nobody is taking it in a lighter vein except for those who come across on television defending it. I don't expect any better from Rahul Gandhi. He's always been like this. The people in his party have always been like this, whether it is a Sam Pitroda or a Kamal Nath or a Jagdish Titler or a Sajjan Singh. They have all been the kinds who do not mind destroying India and India's integrity for their political gain. And Rahul Gandhi is only furthering that agenda. He's not just spoken out against one religion in a very unfavorable and untrue manner. He has been, as usual, irresponsible, as usual, irrelevant. He has also spoken about the electioneering system in India.
Okay, I'm going to come to electioneering just a minute. Let me first cover this point as far as the Sikh religion is concerned. And let me bring in Parvinder Singh Sethi. Parvinder Singh Sethi, Rajiv Gandhi ki comment, it's in the public domain. We all know how he famously said, when a brick tree falls, the earth shakes. Similarly, we have seen a comment coming in from Sam Pitroda more recently. Hua to hua. ये सारी जो कमेंट्री है कांग्रेस पार्टी की मानसिकता दर्शाती है एंड कांग्रेस हैज नो राइट टू टेक द मॉरल हाई ग्राउंड व्हेन इट कम्स टू द सिख कम्युनिटी आफ्टर 1984 हैज हैपेंड. प्लीज रिस्पॉन्ड टू दैट स्टेटमेंट कमिंग इन फ्रॉम द बीजेपी.
नहीं, देखिए, जिस प्रकार से 1984 का जेनोसाइड हुआ, ये देश के अंदर एक काला अध्याय था और इसको 40 साल हो गए और 40 साल से सिखों को न्याय नहीं मिला. ये लॉ एंड जुडिशरी का फेलियर है हमारे देश के अंदर. उस बात को लेकर मैं ये रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहूंगा सारी राजनीतिक पार्टियों से कि अगर कोई भी किसी भी चीज की बात होती है, सिखों को टारगेट ना किया जाए. सिखों को खास तौर पे अगर राहुल गांधी जी ने कोई स्टेटमेंट दी है, किस कॉन्टेस्ट में दी है, क्या करा गया है, उस चीज को हाईलाइट करा जाता है. लेकिन सिखों को सरकार द्वारा भी टारगेट करा जाता है. यह भी बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट बात है. अगर किसान आंदोलन चला, सिखों को खालिस्तानी, आतंकवादी, परिजीवी, इस तरह के संबोधन से करा गया. हरिद्वार के अंदर गुरुद्वारा ज्ञान गोदड़ी साहब को खत्म कर दिया गया. गुरुद्वारा डंगमार सिक्किम के अंदर, मंगूमठ गुरुद्वारा जो पुरी के अंदर था, उन गुरुद्वाराओं के ऊपर अब बच्चों को स्कूल के अंदर कड़े उतरवाए जाते हैं, एग्जाम नहीं दिया जाता. ये माइनॉरिटीज को टारगेट. मैं एक बड़े इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन बीजेपी के प्रवक्ता से करना चाहता हूं कि आपने अभी लोकसभा के चुनाव हुए, 545 सीटों में से आपने पंजाब को छोड़ दीजिए, कितने सिखों को आपने टिकट दी, कितने मुसलमानों को आपने टिकट दी. आप देश के अंदर हिंदू राष्ट्र बनाना चाहते हैं. ये विभिन्नताओं का देश है. यहाँ पे जितने भी लोग रहते हैं सब देशभक्त लोग हैं और सबका कंट्रीब्यूशन होना चाहिए देश के अंदर. लेकिन हर कम्युनिटी को टारगेट करा जाए किसी भी तरीके से, किसी भी राजनीतिक पार्टी के द्वारा, ये सिखों को डैमेज करने. अभी एक फिल्म आती है इमरजेंसी, उसके अंदर सिखों को टारगेट किया जाता है. उसके पीछे कौन है? उसके पीछे भारतीय जनता पार्टी है. उसके पीछे भारतीय जनता पार्टी की मेंबर पार्लियामेंट है. उसके अंदर सिखों को खालिस्तानी दर्शाया गया, उसके ट्रेलर के अंदर दर्शाया गया. उसके बाद भी फिल्म रिलीज हो जाती है. इस तरह की चीजों से सिखों को डैमेज करने का काम पंजाब को है.
But sir, there are issues with the film's release. But let me put a serious set of questions. I'm going to ask Charu Pragya, since you've addressed the BJP spokesperson. Charu Pragya, please respond to Parvinder Singh Sethi.
So, Mr. Sethi, I understand your plight, but then please remember that it is the Bharatiya Janata Party which is fighting to get justice for the 84 rights even today. It is us who got the courts to reopen those files in the first place. हाँ, मैं समझ सकती हूँ कि आपको society utopian नहीं लगती है, and we can argue about that at many fronts. But are you really trying to say that whether it comes to the welfare of any community, the Sikhs included, Bharatiya Janata Party has not performed the best? You compare it to any previous government. So I'm sorry, sir, do not use this as a time to shoot off arrows without a target in your sight. The truth of the matter is we need to be addressing what the official leader of opposition says today when he goes to America. And I will again say this, he's using the tactics of divide and rule. When he wasn't successful using one community, he's moved on to the next.
Okay, let me bring in Jimsa Ibrahim on this now. Jimsa Ibrahim, you know, the question that is being posed over here is this. A 3,500 odd kilometer long Bharat Jodo Yatra from Kanyakumari to Kashmir is what Rahul Gandhi engaged in a few years ago. And of course, every political leader has done such yatras. But the question being made over here is that why is he making then these comments that many would perceive as extremely incendiary? Because the manner and the tone in which Rahul Gandhi is being spoken, he's speaking about, you know, basic religious practices not being allowed to be done here in India. And I at least have not come across, there are some examples that have been cited. They may have been individual cases, nobody is underplaying them. But really the kind of tone and tenor of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, was it borne out factually, is a very big question that is facing us today. Mr. Ibrahim?
All right. Thank you, Madam, for having me. I'd like 2 minutes for my rather long answer. To the question that you posed to me, I would say yes. Rahul Gandhi, what he said in US, though arguably incorrect when considered in the Sikh context. Arguably, Sikhs in India are safer than they were in 1984. There is no doubt about it. All right? Like our Minister Puri a while ago mentioned, there was a concerted pogrom in 1984. We cannot deny it. That being said, the gentleman in America said something in spirit we cannot refute. Now, I have three submissions to begin with. In 2015, when our Prime Minister...
So he's not factually correct. Are you admitting that? You're saying in spirit he said something you can't refute. What has he said in spirit that can't be refuted when you're saying that it's not factually correct?
He is not factually correct when it comes in context with the Sikh community. It is true. But if we are to take the minorities as a whole, which include the Sikhs as well, there are concerns. I'll come to it. I want three submissions to begin with. In 2015, when our Prime Minister left for South Korea, he made this comment saying that he was ashamed. Indians were ashamed of their citizenship. This is our sitting Prime Minister of India. This was the first instance in 2015. In 2017, Palampur, Gujarat, he made a remark saying our former Prime Minister of India, Manmohan Singh, colluded with our enemy state, Pakistanis. Now, this was never proven. RTI activist Saket Gokhale had in fact petitioned the central government. We did not really get a clear picture on whether it was a collusion. Now, this was a serious threat to our democratic process, which was alleged by...
I got your point. You've cited two examples, Dr. Ranganathan. Dr. Ranganathan, there have been irresponsible comments that have been made by leaders of the BJP as well. This is the commentary being made, and of course the other point being made by Congress that this is not the first time that politics is playing out on foreign soil. There are BJP leaders, they've included examples of the Prime Minister to cite that. Please respond to those two concerns.
Thank you very much, Madhav, for this very interesting and important debate. Before I come to the thrust of my thesis, can I please ask my very good friend, Mr. Kapil Madan, because he mentioned about the attack on minorities and he mentioned one particular attack. Kapilji, good evening. Who was Bharat Yadav and Khitaram Bhil? Can you tell me?
You have to tell, you are quoting him.
Right.
If
that precisely answers.
Ask you a question, who is so and so, how can you have to give a context.
Right, exactly. Now, please let me finish. This proves the point. You mention selectively cherry-picked instances where minorities have been attacked, but you completely ignored that more number of attacks have happened by the minority mobs against the majority. Bharat Yadav was lynched by a Muslim mob after being repeatedly called a kafir. Khitaram Bhil met a similar fate. He was almost lynched to death. There are more than 200 documented attacks. Madhav, I can't believe, yes, this was going on in 2014-15, so-called Christians under attack, which was completely false narrative. But I can't believe this has gone on for 10 years. This is the problem in this country.
One second. Kapil, let me finish. You can respond. You can respond, please, one by one.
I've got a chance after 20 minutes, so please allow me more than a minute. Now, the second issue that people talk about is what Rahul Gandhi has said against, what he said concerning the Sikhs. It is an outrageous comment. It is a deliberate, intentional comment to sow a division between the Hindus and Sikhs. And let me tell you, for me, the 9 gurus and the 10th guru, Guru Granth Sahib, is not just revered for the Sikhs. They are my gurus, mine. They protected the dharma more than, I would say, as much as Hindus did. The whole Sikh community was born out of Hindu dharma to protect Hindu dharma. As somebody said, if you were to remove Hinduism from Guru Granth Sahib, only the spine would be left. For centuries, Sikhs have protected Hindus. And this guy comes along after his party orchestrated the biggest pogrom and genocide against the Sikhs. and has the temerity to lie through his teeth and say Sikhs cannot wear kada and cannot wear a turban. I see 3 Sikhs out here wearing a kada, wearing a revered turban. What the hell is he talking about? Madhav, these things no longer need to be rebutted by the common citizenry. That time is gone. It needs to be rebutted by the government fair and square. And I'm very thankful Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri has come out and rebutted it. This guy needs to be stopped as far as his incendiary comments are concerned.
Kapil.
Yes. So my good friend Anand, I've heard him very patiently, and I must say here that his, comments today are, completely baffling. We are talking about a situation wherein our honorable Prime Minister on records called one particular community as Ghuspatia, calls one particular community as, who creates who commits offenses, etc. We are in a situation where the incumbent government is exceedingly,
Sir, Kapil, we've heard this argument. One second, Kapil, let's get one thing straight. Was Rahul Gandhi factually correct when he made those comments on Sikhs or not? Simple question, sir.
Absolutely horrendous.
One of our panelists has already said he was not being factual.
I have great regard for my good friend Anand, but today his comments seems to be absolutely horrendous.
No, please answer my question.
He's trying to justify violence and crime by saying that, that particular community has also committed offenses. I am saying all kind of offenses need to be called out.
Kapil.
But the problem is,
Kapil, nobody is justifying any violence.
No, I am sorry.
One second, Kapil, just calm down and just answer a simple question. Nobody is justifying any violence. All he is saying is that there are victims of violence in different communities. I think that's the larger point he's making. Nobody can justify any kind of violence, at least not on this show. But Kapil, simple question over here. Has Mr. Rahul Gandhi stretched the truth a little too far? Because clearly in terms of the kind of commentary being made on Sikhs, that they cannot wear the turban, cannot wear the kada, he has been economical with the truth. What's the harm in admitting that?
BJP spokesperson is here. Can they come on record and say why did Kangana was referring to those people who were protesting as Khalistani? There were people from Haryana also. Why did particular Sikh people who were sitting on a protest were called as Khalistani? Can you give any plausible explanation?
Of course, and there has been controversy, sir. We have reported all of that. None of those questions have been brushed under the carpet. Certainly, they have been posed. But let me bring in Ramneek Man. Ramneek Man, there is a certain attitude, there is a certain commentary that is coming in from certain leaders, which is giving an impression of injustice to Sikhs. This, if I can paraphrase Kapil Madana, if I understood his argument correctly, this is what he's in a sense trying to say. Please respond to that.
Okay. So good evening, Good evening, Madhav. And let me begin by saying this. This is my kada, this is my turban, I am wearing my gatra, my kirpan, and these are the symbols of Sikhi. I am a Amritari Gursikh, so I am bearing all 5 kakars. And nobody stopped me ever, whether it's on the street, in the market, in the government offices, in private offices, in the airport, in the airplane. So I am free. I don't know what is he talking about, but probably I'm giving him benefit of doubt. Probably, he invented the Alu Soda machine, he's invented a time machine, he's gone back in time, and he's probably seeing the Rajiv Gandhi era of 1984. He's probably seeing Kamal Nath, Jagdish Tytler, HKL Bhagat, Sajjan Kumar on the streets of Delhi. And may I remind also of the statement of Mr. Jagdish Tytler in the court when he's disposed before the court, saying that on 1st of November 1984, me and Rajiv Gandhi, we went in an ambassador car and we visited certain areas without protocol, without security, without any SPG or the equivalent of that in that time. And the circumstantial evidences, Madhav, are wherever Tytler and Rajiv Gandhi went, the killings intensified in those areas. So these are circumstantial evidences. Now, when this comes to how Rahul Gandhi has been playing, so I'll tell you one very clear incident, that there are people who would be waiting to grab this opportunity and target India and the government of India and the current dispensation and the current polity in power to brace India or to project India or to reflect India as anti-minorities, anti-Sikh. And there are separatist elements, there are Khalistani elements who will pounce on this. They will create a toolkit and they will create a narrative around India globally, and you will see big cutouts and big news articles in international newspapers where they will be mentioning that Sikhs probably not safe in India. Leader of opposition says so. He's probably the leader of division, if I may. Also, the purpose seems to be getting rid of the burden on Congress party of killing Sikhs in 1984 and dumping that on BJP and RSS, the current dispensation. That seems to be his narrative. And if he's in the US, why doesn't he ask Gurpatwant Pannu, who's stopping him from wearing a turban? Gurpatwant Pannu, the champion of Khalistan, does not wear a turban. So why don't you ask those questions to Gurpatwant Pannu?
Okay, let me bring in Jim Sabram. Jim Sabram, simple question. Is Rahul Gandhi feeding into a narrative? Feeding into a narrative which wants to project India as being unsafe for minorities? That's a simple question coming in from what Mr. Mann has just said.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You had a very specific question asking me earlier if what Rahul Gandhi said in US is factually right. Now I say 100% 1984 compared to what it was in 1984, 2024 is much better. See, I belong to another community. From what I see, for the Sikh community, they are at a much safer place in India, no doubt about it. That being said, there is an alarming trend of outliers within our society creating trouble to our very plural ethos. And that's exactly what I think leader of opposition...
Okay, you made that point. You made that point. In fact, let me just quickly bring in Maheshwar Singh Grewal, Vice President, spokesperson of Shivamani Akali Dal. Mr. Maheshwar Singh Grewal, the question over here is whether Rahul Gandhi has been a little economical with the truth, or perhaps has, when he says that Sikhs in India cannot wear the turban, cannot wear the kada, whether he's factually correct. The Congress, of course, and its representatives here say that it is correct what he has said because there are concerns surrounding minorities. The BJP says factually untrue, cannot take the moral high ground because of 1984. Your response, Mr. Grewal.
Madhav, first I complained that you called me for the debate, but you called me in the last end when the time is out to finish. My request is that what Rahul said, it's totally incorrect. They are the killer of the Sikhs. Yes, they stopped the Sikhs from going to Gurdwara when they put the entire Punjab under curfew from 3rd of June to 10th of June in 1984. They removed the turbans, they removed the kadas, the people they arrested from the operation Blue Star from within the premises of Golden Temple. Rahul Gandhi can't claim himself to be a sympathizer of the Sikh. His grandmother and his father are the main killers of the Sikhs, on whose instigation Operation Blue Star and then Operation Delhi, massacring of the Sikhs in Delhi, Kanpur, etc. But at the same time, I would also like to say things that unfortunately, the political set of the day also is not kind to Sikhs. They have started more dangerous game than even Congress. They have infiltrated through RSS and are going to grab the management of Gurdwaras. They have done in Hazur Sahib, they have done in Patna Sahib, they have done in Delhi, and they have done in Haryana. My only submission is, please don't touch the issues which are very emotional of the Sikh community. These are not good. Sikhs have suffered, country has suffered. Let us live in peaceful, and please, the state of where it is first time in the independent India that the president of the Shiromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee has not been granted audience by either the Prime Minister or by the Home Minister for last.
Quick comment from the BJP spokesperson. Charu Pragya would like to respond to the concerns being raised by Mr. Grewal.
To Mr. Garewal and to everybody else, I just want to give one reminder. Anybody, all they need to do is read the Nanavati report. And Madhav, let me say this. There are certain things which are written in that report which are chilling to read, completely chilling to read. It talks about how all the local leaders of the Congress were the ones who carried out the massacre, who were the ones who were responsible for the genocide. And we can hear it in the ongoing High Court case of Sajjan Kumar also. So the statements that we hear, all of that reality exists. And these are the very leaders which are still being rewarded by the Congress party. I have not even heard of an expulsion being made, forget anything else. Where is Kamal Nath today? He was made the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh. Sam Petroda, statement after statement, which degrades India, which degrades communities, who says हुआ तो हुआ.
Well, those may be very
Stamp
valid
protest
concerns of
still
1984 of the patronage given to Jagdish Titler and other leaders. And in fact, there's a whole list of such leaders who've received patronage and whose role was allegedly there in the 84 riots. We'll have to leave it there. Unfortunately, Charu Pragya, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, Ramneek Maan, Maheshinder Singh Grewal, Advocate Kapil Madan, Jimsa Ibrahim, Parvinder Singh Sethi. Thanks so much for joining us on debate number 1.